Nearly 8 months after their home was destroyed during the July flood, a family received the keys to their new home thanks to a pit stop from God's Pit Crew.
And schools throughout Kentucky plan to join Pulaski County in a tribute to a football player who died on Monday.
And sunshine is on the way back here to the forecast as we head closer to Easter weekend. The very latest coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening again. I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Olivia Calfee. Earlier last week, we shared the story of the nonprofit God's Pit Crew, which was building a home from the ground up.
The crew of nearly 150 people from 7 different states finished that home in 11 days.
And today, the family saw their new home for the very first time. I got to be there for the big reveal. As they drove up, it was a morning full of anticipation, which quickly turned into joy-filled emotion as the Smith family saw their new home for the very first time.
In what time they've been here that they could do something this beautiful. It's remarkable.
In a matter of 11 days, nearly 150 volunteers built it from the ground up. And on Thursday, the family got to say thank you to many of those who poured blessings and love into their new foundation.
It's more than we could have ever dreamed of. And we are forever grateful to God's Pit Crew because from the beginning to the end of this process, they have been absolutely wonderful.
And the family says it was some of the personal details that truly meant the most.
He makes instruments, and these instruments he had made, and we saved them from our house. They didn't get in the water, and we were able to save them. So that meant a whole lot, and just the little touches that they've put on the house. I mean, you know, they just think of everything.
Counting the blessings they never thought were possible on July 28th, 2022.
When you lose everything, you wonder, you know, where to go from here, and I could have never dreamed we would be here today. God is good. God is amazing, and we are so blessed.
God's Pit Crew founder says everything for the family is provided. All the Smiths have to do is hang their clothes in the closet, saying he hopes people in Eastern Kentucky know that help is still on the way.
A misty, drizzly day throughout the region today, but for the most part, all of the heaviest rain has stayed across central Kentucky. A couple of areas trying to sneak into portions, Rockcastle and Jackson into Estill County, but overall not a big deal throughout the evening. 50 from Somerset, where the downtown looks remarkably dry for having had some radar returns over a little while ago. There's the view from Pikeville, our Pikeville Medical Center camera. Tarps on the baseball field. And it's one of those kind of days. We're still in the 60s as that cold front slowly works on into the region. Jonesville, 64 Jacksboro. Everybody else, low to mid 50s. And that's a good 30 to 35 degrees. Look at Moorhead, 40 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, and it feels every bit of it. As we go zone by zone tonight into the 40s, it's going to be a cool one out there. Into the Cumberland Valley, into the Kentucky River Valley as well, low to mid 40s. And in the same thing as we head up into the Big Sandy with those temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Details on when the sunshine arrives coming up in a few minutes.
Evan, thank you. Researchers at the University of Kentucky are testing a new combination of vaccines to help prevent infection with future COVID variants. The university is part of a national COVID-19 study testing a vaccine that's similar to the Moderna and Pfizer mRNA vaccines, but has an extra component. T cells are similar to antibodies, but antibodies don't last very long because the virus tends to mutate and levels drop over time.
Whereas the T cell component is like a Pac-Man and will digest the cells that are infected. So the infection has occurred, the T cells kick in and keep the host, the human, keeps us from getting severe illness.
Dr. Richard Greenberg says if all goes well, the study will find that this vaccine has longer durability, meaning people won't have to receive shots as often. Anyone interested in participating in this study can head to stopcovidky.com to complete a pre-screening survey and find out if they're eligible.
A mother was reunited with her son after he was rescued from a trail in Wolfe County yesterday. The Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team received a 911 call around 9 o'clock last night saying 3 children were lost along the Swift Camp Creek Trail. Officials say the mother dropped off the 3 kids, including a 12-year-old, at the entrance of the 7-mile trail and was scheduled to pick them up at a separate trailhead. Officials with the rescue team say when they located the trio, the group did not have lights and their phones were dead.
Police in Pikeville are asking for help locating 2 suspects wanted for theft. Officials say the pair left Walmart in a bright-colored Kia Seltos. The vehicle was last seen traveling south on US 23. Anyone with information about their whereabouts should call the Pikeville Police Department at 606-437-5111.
The Floyd County Coroner's Office is asking for your help identifying the next of kin for 2 people. The first is Timothy Clemmer Bateman. Officials say he died on March 25th at his home in Prestonsburg. He was born on May 30th, 1956. The second man is Herman Edward Parrish Jr. He died yesterday and lived in Melvin. He was born on April 30th, 1962. If you or someone you know is a family member of either man, you are asked to call the Floyd County Coroner's Office at 606-285-5155.
Visitation services for a Southern Kentucky teenager who died after he was injured in a high school football practice game are underway.
Andrew Dodson died Monday after he was hurt on Friday. He was a junior at Pulaski County High School.
His coach says the school will honor his memory with stadium lights Friday night. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton reports, many other coaches say they will do the same.
Pulaski County's football coach says at 7:30 Friday night, their usual game time, their stadium lights will be turned on for 80 minutes. The number of Andrew Dodson's jersey.
It's fitting, it's touching, and
Jason Chappell says North Laurel's lights will be turned on as well. Other coaches throughout the region and even the state are following suit.
my experience in 25 years of coaching is, for the most part, these guys that coach high school football or high school athletics in the state of Kentucky are great people, and I think everybody probably feels similar to how I do.
Coach Chappell says he was touched by the statement Dodson's father made of his son's salvation and how he looks forward to seeing him again. He hopes the lights people see Friday will be a reminder of that.
You know, that would be a tremendous legacy for that young man to be able to leave.
The University of Kentucky is also planning to turn on their lights at Kroger Field on Friday.
As I mentioned, our hearts and prayers are with them, with the family. I did talk to Coach Hines, and it's a terrible tragedy, and we're glad to just be a small part in honoring him tomorrow at 7:30.
Coach Hines says he really appreciates all the coaches that are lighting up their fields as well. Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The funeral for Andrew Dodson will take place at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning at the Center for Rural Development in Somerset. Visitation will take place at 10 tomorrow morning as well. For a list of schools lighting their fields in honor of Dodson, we're compiling those as we get them, and you can look for that on our story on WYMT.com.
One community in Floyd County is mourning the loss of its beloved mayor. 70-year-old Sharon Woods died at her home on Wednesday and leaves behind a host of family and friends. She served as mayor of the city of Allen for nearly 30 years. Along with serving as mayor, she previously served as a secretary for the Floyd County Attorney's Office for nearly 20 years. County Attorney Keith Bartley says Woods' generosity and servant's heart will be missed dearly.
Till the day she died, you know, she was always thinking about and taking care of the needs of others, her family, her friends, whoever it might be. And that is a pretty special person. There's not a whole lot of people I could say that about. I honestly couldn't name anything Sharon Woods ever did for Sharon Woods.
Bartley says he has known Woods and her family for nearly 40 years, adding that the world needs more people like Sharon. We will have more about the life and legacy of Sharon Woods tonight at 11.
Former longtime Knott County Judge John Robert Bobby Morgan has died. His family says he died April 1st. Morgan was elected Knott County Attorney in 1965. He became district judge in 1978 and circuit judge in 1984. He served as circuit judge until a car accident in 2004. He was also heavily involved in the community and First Baptist Church of Hindman, where he played the piano and organ for more than 30 years. Hindman Funeral Services are handling the arrangements, but services are expected to be held next week. John Robert Morgan was 85.
Well, coming up, the sunshine in the 70s on the way back as we get closer to Easter weekend. I'm tracking high pressure back into the mountains, moving this on out. Coming up. Plus,
the beginning of spring signals the kickoff of tourism season in many communities. We visited downtown Corbin to find out why tourism is so important for both the tourist and the local.
And are you looking for a place to throw an axe or smash a fax machine? A new business in Pikeville is looking to give folks the opportunity to do both.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories